Hi YouTube! Welcome to a special addition to my vlog today. I am doing the Atheist tag from Christina Rad. I thought it was a very interesting tag and I thought I would do it since I actually am an atheist, which may or may not surprise people out there, but I am. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into the questions. Question number one, were you raised atheist or did you have a religious upbringing of some sort? And then there's a couple of subpoints if I was raised religious or not. And I was sort of raised kind of religious, sort of, maybe. My grandfather and my grandmother were the primary people who raised me. My grandfather was Catholic, my grandmother was Lutheran, and my mom was sort of Lutheran. My grandmother did not regularly attend church. My grandfather did, but we really didn't talk about religion or the Bible or anything like that at home very much. I did have a children's Bible, but to me it was just another storybook, and I didn't start going to church until I was about 6 years old. And I still remember the first time I attended, I actually laughed out loud because I came to realize that people actually believed that these stories in the storybook that I had at home, they actually believed that they were real, and I thought it was such a silly idea. So even at that age I was very skeptical, and they immediately put me into Sunday school because of my reaction. And within a few months, I was actually kicked out of Sunday school, or I was asked not to attend again because I kept asking all sorts of questions. I think the actual question that got me asked to leave was when I started questioning the whole thing about Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and like, where did all the other people come from? And you know, if Eve had other kids, were their brothers and sisters getting married? And I was like, you know, and why is that illegal today? And my poor Sunday school teacher got all sorts of flustered and talked to my family and said, you know, maybe it's best that she doesn't come back, because I was starting to get the other kids in the classroom to start asking questions too. And they're like, hey, yeah, we were wondering about that too. And they're like, uh-oh, better get rid of her. So that's basically how I was raised. And, you know, when I started becoming aware of what atheism meant, I was about, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 at the time. And I eventually got to a point where I just said it out loud. It's like, hey, I think I'm an atheist. And my family was like, well, okay. Nope, no, it was really no big deal. It wasn't an issue for me. It wasn't an issue for my family. They just kind of accepted it. I'd never had been baptized, and I opted not to get confirmed. I think that was confirmation at 12, and I opted out of that. And I just have sort of kind of almost always been an atheist in a way. I just didn't say it out loud until I was about 14 or so. Be that as it may, but that's basically what my experience was. Question 2. Overall, would you say that other people's belief in a God is a good thing, a bad thing, or something you're indifferent about, and why? I am overall pretty much indifferent. My personal philosophy to life in general is that people should be able to believe in whatever they want, as long as that belief doesn't hurt other people. So if you want to believe in a God, and you honestly do believe in a God, it doesn't affect me any. The only time it affects me is when someone comes up to me and starts trying to push that belief on me and saying that I'm wrong and I'm a bad person and that it's their job in life to change my mind. And that's when I start, you know, like, okay, well, I disagree with that, and that's when I'll have a debate with people about it. But otherwise, generally, I'm like, live and let live. You know, if you can tolerate my atheism, I can tolerate your belief in a deity of whatever nature, whether you're Christian or Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist or whatever. I mean, if you honestly believe in this flying spaghetti monster, you know, be my guest. It really doesn't bother me any. Question number 3. Have you ever been treated differently by people because you're an atheist? If so, please describe this in detail. To be perfectly honest, not really. I mean, obviously I've come across the occasional proselytizer who really wants to change my belief because they think my belief is wrong. But other than having a good hearty debate out of it, it really hasn't been treated that differently or discriminated against or anything else. I've actually been treated more differently for being child-free by choice than for being an atheist. So most of the people I've ever met have been fairly accepting of my atheism. You know, with the occasional proselytizers, and they've been few and far between, and, you know, other than trying to convert me, they've not treated me any differently outside of that context either. So generally have not really had a bad experience with that. Okay, so number 4, if not a religious person, do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person? Why or why not? I don't consider myself spiritual. I don't believe in the spiritual or in metaphysical things or anything like that. To me, I really only believe in what science can test and prove. And while I do really think I've always been a very big fan of string theory, even that is kind of like, it's not testable, and so that one, while I'd love to really believe in it, it's again, it doesn't follow with science where you can test it. I mean, it's a good hypothesis. There's a lot of math that supports it, but until we can test it, even that one's kind of outside of the realm of what I can honestly truly say is that I really believe in that. So, yes, that's basically where my beliefs are, is anything that's scientifically testable. If it's not scientifically testable, I honestly, I don't believe it, or at least I take it with a really big grain of salt. So question 5. For many people, belief in God provides hope or comfort with respect to suffering in the world and to the inevitability of death. As an atheist, how do you come to terms with these things? Scientifically, when you die, basically who you are as a person, it's all in your brain. It's all the electronic things that fire in your brain, the synapses and whatnot, and when you die, that ends, that goes away. So who you are as a person, your consciousness ends, and that's what I believe. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, once I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm not going to care that I'm dead, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, I would prefer to not die anytime in the near future, but if it happens, it happens, and I'm not a heck of a lot I can do about that. And from another perspective, I mean, the molecules that make up who I am, the individual atoms and whatnot, well, that eventually gets redistributed. I mean, my body will probably get cremated or whatnot, and those molecules will just get mixed in with all the rest of everything and become part of something else. So while I don't believe in reincarnation, in a way, that part of me will live on. I mean, my consciousness will not live on. I don't believe in having a soul or a spirit or that living on. I mean, if I could download my brain into a computer before I die, that would be pretty awesome, but unfortunately that technology does not exist yet. So, I don't know, those kind of things just have never really bothered me or concerned me that much. I'm not a very introspective or philosophical person, so that might be part of it. I just kind of live my life day to day, enjoy the memories I have, and you know, make plans for the future, and if they don't happen, well, that's life, I guess. So anyway, that's those are my responses to the atheist tag, and since I don't have any particular YouTubers that I know to tag personally, I tag pretty much anyone who's watching this. If you are interested in answering the questions, I'm going to have all the questions listed below, so you can read them in more detail, and you know, answer them in the comments or leave a video response. I would love to hear your response if you're an atheist, and what your responses are to those questions. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.